We got some crispy potatoes today. Listen to this crunch. First things first. All right, grab your potatoes. I like using Yukon Gold, but you can use yellow, which is what I'm using today. And you can also use russet. Peel the potatoes and then cut into small, medium chunks. I actually like cutting a few smaller than usual because I like getting those little tiny pieces of potato that after roasting end up basically being crunch and little to no potato. It's like when you get fries and you end up with all those little tiny crunchy pieces at the bottom of the bag that are literally nothing, but also everything. Oh, so good. Anyways, cut up your potatoes however you like. So this is a recipe that I made a few years ago for a family brunch, and let me just say, everybody loved the potatoes. And as we wait for the water to come to a boil, I will say the recipe is from KENJI Lopez, an article he wrote for Serious Eats. He's a huge YouTube creator. I learned so much from him. One of my favorites, so definitely check him out. He's huge, love him. And this is his technique on how to get crispy potatoes. The base of the recipe is all his. I just added a few extra things like BOMBA mayo as a dipping sauce, of course. So let's wait until this gets to a boil and make some crispy potatoes. Salt a big pot of boiling water and then add about half a teaspoon of baking soda. The baking soda is going to help break down the surfaces of the potato, which will help in added surface area and crunch later when we rough them all up. Add the potatoes, and you can also flavor the water with garlic or any herbs you like as well, just to add extra flavor. And let it come back up to a boil and cook the potatoes about 10 minutes or so, or until you can pierce a knife easily through them. In the meantime, I'm going to create a honey mustard glaze to put over the potatoes, and a BOMBA mayo dipping sauce. Both are optional and not needed, but when I make these potatoes, I do one or the other for sure. For the BOMBA mayo, any ratio of mayo to BOMBA sauce is fine. Give a good mix and that's it. Of course, if you follow me, you all know about BOMBA CALABRESE sauce. And if not, I'll leave a link in the description below with a recipe explaining all about BOMBA sauce. And for the honey mustard glaze, which is also very simple, just add any ratio of Dijon mustard to honey. I'm actually using hot honey today. Give a good mix and that's it. So I would toss the potatoes in the honey mustard glaze and I would use the BOMBA as a dipping sauce. And like I said, I would do one or the other, but you can do both for sure. I'm sure dipping a glazed honey mustard crispy potato piece in BOMBA mayo tastes amazing. Oh, and chives. Regardless of what you do, always garnish or toss with chives. The potatoes are done now. Drain and then just let them sit for about 30 seconds afterwards to release any excess moisture. Toss in a bowl, and now for the fat. You can go with some extra virgin olive oil. Haven't tried this yet, but bacon fat, I'm sure that's good. But today, and most of the time when I make this recipe, I use duck fat. Just so much great flavor and so smooth. Add a couple dollops and season with salt and freshly cracked pepper, and then rough those potatoes up by tossing the potatoes and shaking the bowl around. This is going to create almost like a mashed potato outer layer that later when roasting will crisp up perfectly. And that's what's going to help with the crunch. This is also one of the two most important steps to this recipe, the other being the baking soda. Layer the potatoes onto a sheet pan and separate them so that they can nicely roast and crisp up, and then toss in the oven at 450 degrees for 20 minutes undisturbed. And then take them out and flip each one. Tedious, I know, but it will be worth it in the end. Then place back in the oven for about 30 to 40 minutes, flipping the potatoes if needed. Depending on your oven, you may have to flip a couple times, and you might need to leave it in longer as well. Then when the potatoes are all evenly browned and crispy, throw them all into a bowl with some salt and shake and toss, and that's it. Now, if doing the honey mustard glaze, you can drizzle and toss and then plate these potatoes up, garnish with some Parmigiano Reggiano, if you like, the chives, of course, the BOMBA mayo, and bring it to the table. Who doesn't like a potato, let alone a crispy potato? These are so good, and whether you go the honey mustard route or even just the BOMBA mayo or just plain salt, perfect. Either way, I hope you give this a go. And as always, the full recipe is in the link in the description below. Please like and comment. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And until next time, ciao.